oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
Power restored.
You know, it may just be like a necessary engine thing, all this having to load in sequence. But I have to say, I do really like having the whole base come to life bit by bit whenever I load a save. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Subnautica. And last time was a great episode for advancements. We built the scanner room, and presumably we can upgrade this to make it even better, but for now, we do have, we do have some fragments nearby. Why can we only see certain things? We had a whole list here before. What happened to the fragments that were displaying on here before? Okay, I don't really understand that. Oh, well, maybe it's because we are not actively producing power? Which is fine. I mean, we can get plenty going right now. I have read that these things, like different plants and whatever you put in here, actually have different energy efficiency ratios, so that's kind of interesting to experiment with. But this should be more than enough for now. And I kind of want to get started with an exterior grow bed, so that we can start growing some of the local flora. So if we put you right hereabouts should be just fine. Just my little windowsill flower bed. I want to know if we can grow more.
Plants is a proven survival strategy. Craig McGill survived 47 months on a healthy, raw salad of live tree roaches and stag fruit.
Well, it seems like I'm already doing way better than Craig McGill. But for now, I want to see if we can grow these gel sacks, which, of course, I cannot find the instant I step outside the hab. Let's just get a proper name on that beacon. You will be the island outpost. Technically, they're both island outposts, but we're beneath the original island. And let's see what we can do about this. Come to the planter and put in a couple of these guys. If we can get mass production of these things going, that will be amazing. But I still don't know how we get these things to spread. Like, will we need to use our knife? I can just pick them up right now as full things. There's got to be some way to do it, but I'll look into it later. Are you working now? You are. Okay, I'm really starting to think that this was either a loading thing or just a power thing. But in any case, we should be able to look for... There's still no... Is there like a scan mode we have to put you in? We need to start building the stuff to produce our own med kits, but in the meantime, we'll just have a couple of these to keep our hunger up and do a bit more exploring. There is something that some of you have pointed out I need to go back and get. So we're making a priority of that first thing. But since I am going to have some time to kill in the meantime, there is something that I want to talk about. So something you might notice about this video, and this will be the case going forward, is that I have turned off the music volume. And the reason for that is because of something that pisses me off so unbelievably much as a professional YouTuber, and just in the fact that, like, this is the environment that we have to work in here. So normally what I do is I upload the videos as they're finished rather than on a schedule to the Patreon in groups of 2. And so that's why at the time of this recording I have uploaded part 1 publicly, and I'm already up to part 6 on the Patreon. Here's a time capsule. Okay, I guess we just got a free heat knife. That's something I was gonna build, but well, we can cook fish on the fly now. Maybe this game's trying to placate me, give me a consolation prize. But anyway, as I was saying, the advantage to uploading things early to Patreon is not just to reward the patrons who pay extra money, but it actually allows me to, you know, check these things for copyright before they actually get uploaded, because, you know, it's all up there unlisted beforehand. And in this case, it went just fine, as expected. But then when I went to upload part 1, it enabled revenue sharing, and I almost didn't notice this in time. It enabled revenue sharing, and that was deeply confusing. And so I looked into it, and it had flagged like a certain like 30-second portion of the music during the main menu. And then as I uploaded the rest of the patron stuff, because 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 were uploaded that same day, I also got strikes on 3 and 4. Wait, what the heck? What the heck? Is this a bug, or was that all in the time capsule? It gave me like a full set of everything. That's extremely strange. Wait, no, one of them... Some of these things have less than full battery. What is going on here? Okay, it's really trying to butter me up. Anyways, if I could just avoid distractions for 2 seconds... Part 1 of the public upload and 3 and 4 of the Patreon upload both had problems with revenue sharing being enabled. That is, Content ID recognizing copyrighted music and saying, you can't earn any money from this, it's all going to go to the copyright holder. And I was like, what the heck? Because, you know, a huge part of the whole Let's Play, like, business is the fact that most developers and most publishers have allowed their music to be used so that Let's Plays can exist, because it's just understood that this is beneficial to them, as such things help drive sales and attention for their games. So it's extremely rare for in-game music to have that issue, unless the developers themselves were licensing that song. See Alan Wake, it caused them problems as well, Remedy. And so I looked into it some more, and I found a post, a Reddit post, from literally a day prior, not even, from none other than Broken Lot Productions, who I've spoken with before, who makes Garry's Mod Machinima. Let me just brave the fires for what I came back for. I can't believe I forgot about this, and I'm so glad you pointed it out. How much inventory does that take up? Not nearly too much. But anyways, come to find out, it is, in fact, this developer's explicitly stated policy that you can use footage from this game for Let's Play purposes and monetize it. It is totally fine, per their policy. And so I was like, what the heck is going on? And I read further and found out that it is not this developer or publisher that made the claim. It is, in fact, some third party who has no claim to this soundtrack, but they can nonetheless file this claim and make it so that YouTube makes sure that all revenue goes to them. So I keep reading, and I'm examining the claim on my own video, and it turns out it's true. They have not, like, the developers of this game have not made that claim. It's some random third party called TuneCore. So I look into them, and it turns out that they are a company that is known for doing exactly this. Just filing these nonsense claims, which gets, without any oversight, all revenue that this video would have made going straight to them. So obviously I pull that video and I go back into the project and I just mute the part that it listed, and I go and I re-render the whole thing just a couple hours before it's up, put everything back up, which, you know, was right down to the wire. And it was just such a headache right at the last second, and I know that it wasn't like that before, because part 1 and 2 went up on Patreon just fine, using the identical audio. Hey, there's LifePod 4. I was thinking you'd be on the surface. I did not expect you to be upside down like this. I guess the flotation devices technically worked, just not in an ideal fashion. Let's see what you've got. Creature decoy, we already had that. Any PDAs? Oh, there is a PDA right here.
To any Altera crew. Landed in area of significant alien activity. Encountered predators in the Leviathan class, highly aggressive. Spectroscope scanner assigned species designator Reaper. One specimen attempted to swallow the life pod, doing extensive damage in the process. Only viable option is to make for the safety of the Aurora crash site. I have retrieved a data box with the creature decoy and enough resources to fabricate a couple of them. The swim's longer than the decoy lifetime, but it should just be enough to keep them busy. If you don't find me on board the ship, presume I miscalculated.
All these guys, almost a Chuck Yeager manner of speaking. And it is actually kind of awful to know that it didn't work out for them. Like, what makes us so special? But anyway, with the 8th distraction in a row now out of the way, it's just so frustrating that this is actually how it works. That they've actually created this system where a random third party who does not even own the thing they're making the claim about can have that money just leached away, both from the actual copyright holder and from the creator of the Let's Play who had permission to use it. And there's just so little that can actually be done about it. I mean, I suppose the actual copyright holder could probably have something done, but even then, that takes time. I have no idea if disputing this claim would have actually gone in my favor. From everything I've read, it probably wouldn't have. But it's immaterial because at that stage, I have no time to find out. I am forced to go back and re-render everything at the last minute, because otherwise I'm going to lose out on at least the first couple days of revenue, which is basically all of it. So it's just so aggravating, and the fact that, like, navigating the copyright minefields of certain things can be hard enough as it is, and so when you have all of this on top of it, it's just beyond rage-inducing. Let's just swim down here. God, I love those shadows. And I'm gonna plant a bit of kelp so that hopefully that can grow up and we can get a nice, decent, sustainable supply of it right here. But in the meantime, let's try and see if that scanner room has picked up anything new. Have you got any fragments? You don't. Well, you can actually find wrecks, which is potentially even more useful. Granted, we'll probably have already seen everything around here, but we can try it out. Let's see if it finds anything. You can go right here next to the scanner section. There we go. And now we can... Ooh, you are picking something up. One down in that pit and one further back here. So we're gonna take one of these cameras. Yep. And start looking for them. Now this one down here, I think we've already been to. The other, maybe not. But it's actually really quite far away. Might be on the edge of what we can manage. Oh, now I am a big fan of the light from this thing. It really does look like those deep-sea diving videos. We can find just about anything this way. And these things don't seem to have any sort of depth limit, which is mighty useful indeed. Of course, I can't tell what's cave darkness and what's actually just, I don't know, night. You there, have we seen you? We're not cut in from the top. Yeah, we've been here. Okay, goodbye. Oh wait, we're actually picking up more now. But judging by their height, I think those might just be on top of the islands. Those might be the outposts from the Degassi. Look how gorgeous that looks. This way we can even use the drone as sort of, well, I guess a camera drone for those cinematic shots, you know? Let's just deposit you back here. Oh, now we can find fragments. I don't understand why these things are loading in, like, over time. That doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense to me. But I believe we had 2 last I checked. And we really need to eat. Wow, these things are actually getting burned through astonishingly quickly. Need some for energy, which I guess the scanner just uses a lot. Maybe if I try... Oh, okay. So many things are making more sense to me right now. Okay, so if we just use you up completely, we can do that. And then, what is my hand doing right now? Do all that. And now we got a whole bunch of you guys coming in. That makes more sense. So I guess the hitbox with the marble melon just wasn't working before. Can we do it this way? Yes, we get a whole bunch of seeds. 3. No, 4. Alright, okay, so much more just made sense to me about farming. I tried it earlier, but I couldn't get it to actually hit. But look, we are finding fragments just all over the dang place. What are you? I can't actually tell. I'm pretty sure you're actually a scanner room fragment, which is kind of nuts because these things are just literally everywhere. Indeed, down here it's mostly just power cell chargers, which isn't of the most use to me. We are going to build another exterior grow bed here at the cannon outpost. I'm not sure if it needs sunlight. And we're going to use that so that... I want to make it so that we can get pretty much whatever, wherever. I think that's going to be an important thing to set up. It'll reduce a lot of the back and forth that I'm doing.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
And you have finished your first recipes. Large filtered water. So from that... Oh, that is so cool! So we get to keep the salt as well. Not only do we get the best water in the game, it seems, but we also get the materials to help make more. Well, that's a huge win if I ever saw one. Alright, let's put some of this nonsense away, and we should have everything we need to start making our own medkits. Alright, we need silver ore, we need a computer chip. So we should have the means to do that. There we go. And now we can build medkits. Just put you right there on the... And we'll put you on the way to the thing. No? Right there, in case we just kind of lift ourselves up in a sea moth and we're like gasping for breath with our multiple punctured lungs. We just drag ourselves over to here to get our medkits. You have actually run out of power, so we're going to need quite a bit more. Wow, it's all that filtration machine. Oh god, this is... Oh god, what is this? I am descending extremely deep now in search of magnetite, but I'm starting to think I'm not gonna find it here. There are actually still some outcrops appearing on the walls, but oh my god, what a drop-off. What a drop-off, which is usually the indicator for stop what you're doing. At least until we can get the Seamoth a bit deeper.
Warning, entering ecological dead zone. Adding report to databank.
Okay, that actually does help me. Geological scans of this area show a steep decline in all directions. The data is consistent with the theory that the Aurora crashed on the edge of a 2x2 kilometer volcanic crater. It has highly likely been millennia since an eruption reached the surface, encouraging the ecosystem within the crater to flourish. The ecology of the trench surrounding the crater supports only two kinds of life: microscopic and Leviathan class. Exploration ill-advised. Don't have to tell me twice, one of them wandered its way right in. Magnetite, please. What caused you to roll downhill? Don't want to hear from you. I'm literally having an easier time finding diamonds than magnetite. I just had a look on the wiki, and it claims that magnetite is abundant in the Jelly Shroom Cave. Now, I don't often like to consult with a wiki when playing a game like this, however, it's just I'm not spending the time looking around for like the one or two that would have spawned on that cliffside by the base. And I imagine there may be more to see here anyways. A whole lot of danger too. We'll have to avoid the jelly shrooms themselves, but so far I'm not seeing any actual magnetite. There we go, bingo. Now, these Oculus guys are kind of strange. They're like the Peeper's weird cousins. I don't know, the red eye, or pink eye, I suppose, just has the association of being bloodshot, I guess. Like, they're pretty stressed from being around all these giant predators all the time. I mean, I was too, and I was only down here for a few minutes before. What were they thinking with that base? I mean, imagine just going to bed hearing those shrieks in the dark all the time. I mean, abundant isn't necessarily the word that I would use. I am finding them, but I'm having to hunt. Some of you have probably already answered in the comments by now, but I have no idea if these things actually respawn. It doesn't seem like they do. But if we're ever short on something, I suppose we can always rely on those sea treaders, who I do want to pay a visit to again in the near future, because I want to see what's near them. Oh, hello. Sometimes we have to see where we can resurface as well. And right here is one such place. This game guides you to every biome eventually, but if you have a look around, you'll see that there are other ways that you can take shortcuts. In fact, this one is right above their hab, which actually makes this look like much less of a bad idea. It's not saying much, but you get the idea. Alright, we got enough magnetite to last us a little while longer, and at a certain point, I have discovered that this is where the storage module is. For some reason I remembered it being, like, on the side, but I was probably just thinking of the upgrade modules. So that gives us a decent amount of extra space. I really, really wish I had found that a bit earlier. Well, we got all we need, and we are out. Feels so cool to swim out of a cave and into the daylight like that. But since we do have so much space and so much battery to kill, I'm thinking we do what I wanted to do, which is to head in this direction and explore those mushroom forests some more, now with the added depth to do so. Well, here we are. You know, it really just sunk into me how sad it is to see, like, such actually gorgeous creatures infected with this stuff. Honestly, for however long this place must have been like this, it's a miracle it's not all of them. Now, what are you? Copper ore. I'm thinking that these things can probably be mined with the prawn suit drill arm, so it may actually be worth making them even for the shallower depths. Those are Cyclops fragments, and this is why I really wanted to come here. Because I figured I was supposed to have this thing a long time ago, and it only makes sense that some of this stuff would be in the shallower areas, the places I've been neglecting for a while. Let's keep up the search. I think the only thing we're missing now is the hull. We get that and we're good. I am, of course, going to need lots of titanium for all the various ingots, but I think the only thing I'm missing right now is the hull. And only one piece of the hull, so we really are that close to the next big advancement in deep-sea exploration. Speaking of big advancements, wrecks tend to facilitate such things. Oh, you're right over the electric abyss. Okay, let's do our flyby and see where we might be able to get in and out. There's a spot. There's a box. Got you. Oh man, I'm so happy to have that filtration system. I really do want to have just like a farm of those things so that we never have to worry about water again. But the power requirements are probably going to be huge. I don't know, it's just something about this is making me really want to go full Factorio on it. Look, those jets of sand being shot down. Alright, we're gonna turn our lights off because as good as it is to have some headlights facing inward, it tends to attract nasty critters. That box is already open. Wait, have I been in here before? Well, while we're here, we may as well continue the search with these guys around. I'm starting to see the need for more Seamoth upgrades. Things are only going to get more dangerous from here on out. Come on, please, just give me one hull fragment. It's like going over the edge of a roller coaster, creeping over that smooth hull. It's not good. Okay, I think we're gonna have to go home and start to enact our master plan here. Do we actually have a scan of what these plants are? Common bulbush. No, we don't. We've neglected that because these guys were always afoot. Let's get inside. This aquatic species has evolved to grow in deep, sandy environments and to conserve its hydration levels against relatively extreme external temperatures. The root system can fragment the shell rock it grows on to form a deep anchor point, allowing predators to graze but not easily uproot the entire plant. This grazing will tend to dislodge parts of the plant, and each section is capable of growing into a fully formed adult plant, explaining the concentrations of bulb bushes in some parts of the world. Edible in small quantities, high water content. Okay, so we're not going to get a zap from you. Let's give it a try. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Of course, we have better options these days, but certainly something to think about. Oh, and there's one of those vents. No idea if it's something we've seen before, but we do know that these things exist literally all over this shelf. Crazy to find out that for as inhospitable as this all feels, we're arguably in the best place we could have ended up on this whole planet. Honey, I'm home.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
And I have got some juicy gifts for Liberty. Okay, something really weird has happened with this thing. But if we come over here, Seamoth Mark 1. Okay, we just need plasteel and magnetite. So we can upgrade to the Seamoth Mark 2, which is what we wanted to do anyway. But now, for just 3 rubies and another plasteel ingot, we can go straight to Mark 3. Oh wow, there's 2 of you! Okay, that's the last thing we need. Although I'm happy you seem content to stay at these depths, all I need is a couple of rubies and some titanium. What is this cave? I think this may well be that thing in the center. Or is it? There doesn't seem to be too much here. But look, a perfect walkway just over the top of this thing. Almost makes me wonder if beings didn't once walk in here. We're actually getting mighty shallow for how deeply we entered. Ow. We're also getting mighty banged up. We can go this way. See, this is like the leisurely version of cave exploring, the one you can get your infinite source of oxygen and light into. But, and we are so shallow here. But I can't seem to... Oh, there it is! The island's personal moon pool. What that does for us, I'm not entirely sure. It certainly doesn't make things any easier. Man, who knew desalination was so expensive? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go a little bit further to get what I'm looking for, which is really annoying. Like, that's kind of, like, the biggest problem I have with this game right now, is just how much, like, back and forth resource gathering there is. Some of it can be mitigated with farming. When it comes to minerals like this, well, I mean, the only thing we can really do is build a scanner room, but it can't help you if there's just nothing here. I just found another purple tablet on this island. I guess I had never come up here before. So another one for the collection. At this rate, we're never going to have to make any. I make a point of carrying at least one with me at all times in case we discover some alien structure. And, well, that day is getting closer. Actually, if we finally have a look at our databank, we can probably see where that goes. So, alien data. Actually, I've just had a look at our time capsules, and the one we just pulled out of the beach near the Aurora, it's a simple picture of the sunset beside the wreck, saying simply, survive. We're humans. We survive. Never forget that. May the tides be in your favor. Well, they seem to be so far. So as far as the alien facility locations, all we can see is the depths. So obviously, oh, wow, night has fallen while I was reading. That ever happened to you? All we can see is the depths, and they're all quite deep. 800 and 1200 meters are the only things we've got. Which means that our next move is actually quite a necessary one, and that's to make the Seamoth Mark III module. Wherever it takes us, I'm going to be so happy the day we can actually start this thing up and actually travel through with a craft, assuming there's water on the other side as well. But for now, Liberty, you are about to receive your biggest upgrade yet. Of course, I believe Percy will have to use it first, since the deeper stuff tends to be over on that side. So let's see, what have we got now? We just need the plasteel ingot. And I cannot wait to see what this does. Enhancing diving depth to maximum. So what is maximum? What are the greatest depths these things will reach? 900 meters. So that's going to leave an additional 300 meters for that second facility that we simply cannot do. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. We are going to make this journey in Liberty.
All systems online.
My target for tonight is actually not going to be the deep stuff over by where Percy is, but rather the stuff over here. If you'll remember in the last part, I think it was, where we encountered that other giant, like, blue Leviathan. Those caves, I think, could have gone down a fair bit deeper, and they're a lot closer, so I think that's where we're gonna start. If nothing else, we'll learn something, and get some more blood oil samples. We'll keep them in the storage. There's that vent again, and I wonder, do you think we'll actually get to see where it leads? If we go down this way, maybe we can find a cave or something? Well, not a cave, but I see something glowing down there. Is it something we've seen already? Yeah, I suppose so. I can never tell with these wrecks. There's another cave, more Cyclops engine fragments. Again, could always use titanium. Man, just for one more hull fragment. We'd probably have it by now if I hadn't waited so long to recognize what they were. I've gotten to the point where I'm actually overjoyed to see these deep, gaping crevices in the middle of the sand.
Local scans show a nearby opening. leading to a biome with extensive fossilized remains.
A lost world, you say? With Jeff Goldblum, you say? Alright, let's do this. Keeping a close eye out for that huge blue creature. Okay, we've seen these things before, but can I pick them up? I can't even scan them. Oh, the bone sharks are swarming here. But however deep this goes, I bet we can match it. We have no idea where that alien research facility is, but it's gotta be somewhere deep, and, well, those locations are narrow. Look at this, a whole lot of presumably volcanic vents. Pyrocoral. Okay, the play is to open that up quickly so you don't lose it, and then get inside so you don't die reading it. This coral species is unlike any other encountered on 4546b insofar as it relies on magma flow rather than water current to deliver nutrients. As lava rises up from the planet's core and erupts at vents, this coral forms around the base until eventually it surrounded the entire vent. Lava is then funneled up through the coral, allowing it to siphon minerals and heat as it goes. I wonder how large they'll get over time. This is, of course, the farthest we brought a Seamoth down. And we can go so much deeper. These upgrades are insane. It's like we spent the whole game only being able to go to 2 and then 300 meters, and now all at once we are at absolute crushing depths. What is this? The Lake of Souls from Hercules? And that looks to be a Leviathan spinal column. And another one down there in the soup. So I would imagine that that's got to be some type of liquid that is much denser than the water itself, causing these like underground flows. That is amazing. I've heard that stuff like this exists in real life. It's essentially like rivers underwater. And of course the question I'm wondering now is, can we touch it? No. Oh, God. Ah, those shrieks. Okay, angry underwater water. We got it.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Save it, Liberty. I'm having a bad day. Look at you, some kind of like ghostly ray. Are you angry? You don't look angry. Look, we can actually see your organs glowing inside you. Ghost ray. You don't seem angry. It's been a while, but I'm geeking out all over again. This place is so cool! Like, even for the standards of an alien world, this is like a whole lost something. Something that even for all the people that have been here, even for as deep as they traveled, they never got to see anything like this. Alright, this ray species is adapted to deep-sea conditions. Its body is fully protected by a translucent skin, and its large wings are capable of generating considerable thrust. It's got poisonous flesh, which fortunately we didn't learn firsthand. As is common for rays on 4546b, the ghost ray's flesh is inedible, making it one of the more resilient herbivores. It feeds on plant matter that's settled on the ground in deep-sea caverns. Alright, let's pop a save and head ever deeper. We've got a long way to go still, although it is a little bit ominous that my eyes happen to glance up to our depth at, well, right at the mark of the beast. Or those are some much larger thermal vents than the coral. I wonder if it's another type of the same thing. What if we try to bring the sea moth in? Is it corrosive enough to actually damage it? No, the sea moth can hide down here just fine. Oh, no, it's much slower than it damages our flesh, but it will actually eat away at our outer shell. Whoa, 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 whoa! What are you? What the heck are you? Wait, oh, okay, I need to test a theory. Can we hide down here from you? Is it bad for you, even though you've adapted to this environment? For that, we're gonna have to get your attention. No, you don't care about us anymore? Okay, well what that means is that it's time to bring out the stasis rifle and see if we can do this the hard way. Where'd you go? Come on, bud, don't you want to play? Hopefully this will work. It will! You're not too big, I guess you're not considered a Leviathan, and as long as you're holding still, let's just take your temperature. Hey, you just be lucky it was the mouth. Now let's get back here as quick as can be. Patching up any holes in Liberty as we go. And learn more about you. River Prowler. A fast, agile predator discovered at great depths. It has powerful jaws used for both savaging prey and warding off larger predators. What do you mean, larger predators? Its eel-like torso is highly vulnerable, consisting predominantly of a spinal column and cartilage. It shows significant overlap with other eel-like predators, so the amp eel, basically. It will aggressively keep its jaws facing its opponent, but smaller, faster life forms may have the advantage. Okay, so maybe we'll be able to dodge you if you're coming at us. Do you see that off in the distance? I think we may have located one such larger predator. Alright, let's be very, very careful. Kill our lights. We've got enough here. You're here. Yep, you are here. Alright, I don't think we should be chancing this until we've got something to defend ourselves with. Torpedoes that can maybe lock you in place. If we come over here... Oh. Tell you what. This is so stupid, but I am dying to know more. We are at 800 meters. One of those facilities was at 800 meters. So if we can hide over here without attracting your ire, maybe we can go for a sea glide run. Let's go. I'm just hoping that if I hug the bottom, you won't have the maneuverability to come after me. Sure, just straight up shallows limestone down here? No problem, why not? Yeah, we are seeing straight down into magma flows themselves. But we, should have realized we wouldn't be able to go down there. We're gonna need the reinforced dive suit. Okay, so that is our very next priority. In the meantime, we've got to get whatever scans we can. Look, it goes all the way this way. Maybe we should be shooting to move more horizontally, because I am seeing organisms that we did not see on the other side. Amoeboid. A simple, non-sentient organism found attached to land with high levels of fossilized organic matter. It feeds on this matter until it reaches maturity, at which point it divides to create two new, genetically identical offspring. And the cycle continues. Am I to imagine that you're actually single-celled organisms? What else can we see? Okay, yeah, I think that pretty much confirms at this point. We're shooting across here in the Seamoth. if we can find another exit, we can maybe find another place to get in and out of here. I love that about this game. This game really understands, like, the joy of exploration. About learning about places, learning how those places came to be, the things that live there, the things that have lived there in the past, and, above all, how to navigate them. What you can do with the things that you find there, and use those to help you find more things, and it's just so good. Spinefish, you're a new thing. You're an infected one as well. Showing that even down here, the infection thrives. Small school mentality preyfish, closely related to the hoopfish. I don't like the noises you're making. A combination of near translucent flesh with white, rib-like markings. I saw it in the corner there. Gives this fish a deathly appearance. It takes advantage of this to avoid the attention of its predators. It moves in schools for protection, but will disperse and flee if necessary, whereon those fortunate enough to escape the gaze of their assailants will make for the seafloor and hide among the detritus. Okay. Before we look for another way out, I'm gonna take just a quick look over here to see if these fossils are scannable. They are not. It's able to get so much information from so little, and you're really telling me we can't learn anything from this? I wonder if they're the skeletons of that huge leviathan that we see over there, or something else even older. Of course, predators like this, like alligators and crocodiles, tend to linger for a while, I imagine. Have we seen these things? I think... No, we haven't. Ghostweed. Grows exclusively in deep waters where its pale pigmentation is visible on the fewest wavelengths. Mysterious. Oh my god, I just... Look at this. Just look at this. We're gonna have to push our luck a little bit further and try and make our way across this huge chamber that this thing calls home. This is reminding me so much of Dark Bramble and Outer Wilds. It's unbelievable. Alright, down this way. Keep close to the edges. It'll definitely try and eat us in the center. Might do so on the sides, if we're being perfectly honest. Out of my way. And why do you guys even hang out here? Like, why do you hang out with that jerk? And we've sorta made it. Of course, our adventures on the biome above this show that that thing will venture out from time to time. I guess this is just its lair. We're actually about 1,800 meters away from the opposite side. So could this actually run underneath everything we've done so far? I don't know, but I'll tell you what does. Alien anchors leading to an alien facility. Yes, we're at 800 meters. This has to be the bioresearch facility. Meaning we may be able to find a cure here.
This alien structure appears to have collapsed to the sea floor.
Collapse to the seafloor. You were once much higher. Yeah, look at that. It looks like one of your pylons is damaged. So, either this thing succumbed to wear and tear over the eons after you abandoned this place, or maybe some catastrophic event happened to you that caused our precursors to abandon all hope of actually curing this thing.
Detecting an alien broadcast. Linguistic analysis reads, caution, hazardous materials and life forms contained within.
Well, it can't be any worse than what we've encountered out there, can it? He said, knowing full well that that absolutely can be the case.
Are substantially reinforced, indicating the designers were seeking either to keep something out or contain it within. Whatever their intention, it clearly failed.
God, this AI should write horror stories with the way it words things. Anyway, this is why we carry these on us at all times. And we've still got another one if we need it. There's so much we can learn from this place.
Integrating new PDA
Specimen
data.
research data. A catalog of information on the organisms previously contained within the alien facility. A number of entries have been translated. Small herbivore gamma. This entry appears to reference the common peeper. Shows no immunity to infection. Death commonly occurs within 4 days. Shows symptom remission on exposure to enzyme 42, but symptoms quickly recur. Shows advanced learning behaviors. They're smart little fellas. Shows some capacity to transmit enzymes to other species. So you guys can actually, I guess, act as vaccine vectors. Leviathan embryos. Adult specimen too large to study in containment. Egg specimens acquired from nesting site. Oh, they were far more daring than I. Embryos show no signs of immunity. Death commonly occurs within 3 weeks. Small sample of eggs has been retained for continued high-priority research on Leviathan hatching mechanisms. So are you telling me that we could get one of these things as a pet? My last name must be either Wayland or Utani. Large carnivore theta. Off-site lab established to study remains. Shows some potential for immunity to infection, but physical remains so far proved insufficient for a full reconstruction. Reconstruction? So are you saying that this is maybe an extinct species that you were trying to bring back Jurassic Park style? Unidentified Leviathan. This Leviathan species has been assigned designator Sea Emperor. Bone samples from Emperor specimens indicate some potential for a Kara immunity. Single specimen captured for study at purpose-built containment facility, constructed at volcanic region at depth 1.4 kilometers. Assessment. While it's unlikely that the Emperor specimen is still contained within the facility described, it may be possible to acquire further data there on the aliens' attempt to develop a vaccine. Sorry, my mask was in the way. Okay, so they had reconstructed some ancient species with the intention of using its natural properties to develop an immunity that they could transfer to themselves, but they never got the chance. It seems as though they were performing some real big brain maneuvers in getting this done, so if I might just sift through the wreckage, there's probably a lot we can learn. Is that a Leviathan egg? Sea dragon egg. This large egg is held in a hermetically sealed environment and has been chemically sterilized. Without the means of the facility to house a fully grown sea dragon specimen, it's possible the aliens sought to study instead the egg-laying and incubation process. To what end is unclear. Ray specimens? I still haven't caught a rabbit ray. Different species of ray indigenous to 4546b, each adapted to different environments. The specimens are 99.99% genetically identical to those encountered on the planet today, suggesting that rays in particular have undergone little evolutionary mutation in the past millennium. Ghost rays, jelly rays, crimson rays, and rabbit rays likely all share a common evolutionary ancestor. The alpha ray would have evolved deep in the ocean trenches, quickly growing in line with available food supplies. It would have most resembled the ghost ray in size and appearance, with translucent skin for camouflage and forward-mounted eyes for hunting. A fast and fearsome stalker of small creatures in the dark. Oh, I love hearing these ghost stories about an ancient primordial ray just waiting to scoop me up down here. While some rays have stayed within the limits of the cave systems where they first evolved, others are relatively more recent adaptations to new environments, likely the results of overpopulation. All of the rays on 4546b have given up predation in favor of herbivorous scavenging, and use poisonous skin to protect themselves, poisonous flesh. So, with their interest in these things, and with them being one of the progenitors of life on this planet, I guess, could that be the form this Sea Emperor takes? More data, but I'm hearing things all around. Oh my god, Jesus, oh my... Okay, I guess that's one such organism. And we are definitely going to want to scan. Just as I was approaching this, thinking, oh, it looks like some kind of containment unit. Leviathan detected at facility perimeter, closing at high speed. Exterior anchor cable impacted with massive force. Exterior anchor system buckling. Facility sinking. Collision with seafloor. It's a black box. Breaches detected in Containment Unit 7. Leviathan eggs. Immediate specimen destruction protocol initiated. 314 specimens destroyed. 1 unaccounted for. Is that the Sea Emperor, or is that the big blue boy encountered in the cave on the way here? Evacuating staff to off-site sanctuaries. Planetary quarantine protocol initiated. Infected individuals may not leave the planet. The remnants of a huge disaster that they tried their hardest to avert. No glass here, although it very much looks like it. Oh, I see, it's shattered. It's in shards. Skeletal remains. Well, obviously I'm going to swim through its mouth. Well, it's a vertebrate, no doubt about that. Now let's have a look at what you were for. And I guess find out if there are any more of you about down here. The skeletal remains of a vast predator. I just noticed you have arms. Or maybe bone structure within fins? I don't know. Housed within an artificial habitat. The environment constructed to house the specimen suggests it was kept alive in containment for research purposes for months or even years. Organic matter indicates the habitat once supported extensive plant life, though it has since decayed. When the facility collapsed, the specimen was either left to die or killed on the spot. While it shares some skeletal traits with the biter and sand shark, including its distinctive double eye sockets, this fossilized specimen is significantly larger and features unusual forearms rarely seen in aquatic species. The species has likely gone extinct in the past 1,000 years, and its evolutionary relatives have evolved almost beyond recognition. That's pretty rapid evolution, actually.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Thank God for this desalinated water.
30 seconds.
And look, there's even more of these down here, but it is time for us to take our leave. Hey, are you stuck down here? Something like this actually probably makes a really good habitat to hide away from predators.
Residual biological evidence suggests indigenous life forms were brought to this location and subjected to intensive study.
They were studying the warpers. Or at least what became of the warpers in the end. Self-warping quarantine enforcer unit. They weren't studied, they were built. This life form shows signs of heavy genetic modification and extensive mechanical grafting. Its digestive and pulmonary systems have been replaced by an onboard battery receiving energy directly from the main grid and distributing it around the body. Miniaturized phase technology has been implanted beneath the skin and is triggered by the central nervous system, allowing the construct to teleport at will. The brain and central nervous system have been digitally augmented with advanced processing power and remote communications. Programmable hunter-killer. The Void. It's just the remnants of this thing continuing to serve its purpose even long after that purpose has failed. Biological matter. The organic parts on display contain DNA from dozens of different organisms, largely originating off-world. They're in varying states of augmentation with advanced technologies. This production line setup suggests these self-warping constructs were built, maintained, and employed by the aliens that designed this facility. We're getting real answers for the first time in a long time, not just hints. But there's still one last bit of data.
Pertaining to the bacterium is being downloaded. Caution. Detecting atypical fluctuations in blood plasma proteins. A self-scan is strongly advised.
Kara contagion profile. This terminal contains extensive data regarding the bacterial contagion identified as Kara, first encountered during routine network expansion on Outer Worlds. Network error resulted in routine quarantine procedure failure. Contagion was uploaded to and spread quickly through the core worlds. Confirmed deaths 143 billion individuals. Bacterial mechanisms. Attaches to healthy living cells and mutates the basic genetic structure. Stage 1. Gradual immune system failure. Stage 2. Green skin lesions and flu-like symptoms. Stage 3. Unpredictable alterations to biological structure. Stage 4. Complete shutdown of executive function. Emergency steps taken, core worlds quarantined, bacterial samples distributed to isolated disease research facility for vaccine development. Okay, so there is another. After we get some air, we're going to do a very necessary self-scan to see how far this thing has progressed.
Self-scan complete. Bacterial infection has spread to the skin and pulmonary system. Medical report recorded to databank. It is imperative you find a way to neutralize the infection.
I needed a self-scan to see that? Okay, things are getting far, far worse in a big hurry. We need to find this other facility. You've been infected with a previously unknown waterborne bacterium. It is currently multiplying in your bloodstream, estimated incubation time 2 weeks. Your immune system is combating the infection at low efficacy. You may already be experiencing flu-like symptoms and skin irritation. These will likely be exacerbated as it takes hold. Your immediate priority should be abatement and eradication. Recommended steps. Salvage further alien research data on a possible vaccine. Investigate the mechanisms which have enabled the indigenous ecosystem to inhibit the symptoms of the infection. So it's not just a strange thing that everybody's not infected. It could be indicative of some things they put in place before they abandoned it. Another ion cube right there. It's being generous with these things, but I'll certainly need it for whatever comes next. I want more portals. Ribcage samples. A display case containing an array of ribcages harvested from the indigenous life forms. There's a particular focus in this instant on vertebrate skeletal structures. While some of these skeletons match organisms encountered on the planet so far, most cannot be matched with confidence, suggesting either that there are species out there not yet accounted for, or that they've become extinct since these were collected. Okay. We need things that can go deeper. That's going to be the prawn suit, which necessitates the use of the Cyclops, I think. And we need to continue exploring these caves. But it seems like this is probably the midpoint. I don't know if we'll be able to go any deeper. But then again, there are columns going this way, suggesting that maybe there's something just down the hall. Oh, right past all the jerks that have set up shop here. Just one jerk of a Leviathan, possibly even the individual that we saw before, knocked this thing into the depths. Maybe it was even you. Never mind, this thing is not done. Leviathan skeletal remains. Okay, I know we're burning to death, But just get this thing quickly and let's go. I'm sorry, why is there something down there that looks like the hand of the accursed reaching up to grab lost souls and pull them down? Oh, they're like tree roots beside a river. So I guess they actually feed off of whatever this substance is. Okay, presumably there's more here, and I am not done yet. But we've got even more reading to do. Sea dragon skeleton. The semi-intact skeletal structure of a Leviathan-class predator. There's clear evidence of massive physical trauma to the head. The damage is so severe it was likely the cause of death, and must have occurred somewhere nearby. Damage is consistent with a high-speed collision from a solid object. Something in the environment has helped to preserve these remains, but calcium decay suggests an approximate time of death 1,000 years ago. Bone growth suggests the creature was in the egg-laying stage of its life cycle. You just keep throwing out hints that there may be more of these things waiting in the darkness. But this thing can only go so much deeper. Alright, well, of course we have to swim inside. I don't see anything. I'll follow this as far as I can. What is that? It looks like some kind of, like, great tree. Oh, is this the nesting ground of the ghost rays? This episode started out kind of slow, but it's gotten really, really wild. Please, I know you guys aren't hostile. I'm asking permission to take a non-invasive scan. Look at our mask glowing as we approach. It's like our head is just filling up with knowledge. Giant cove tree. A vast tree encountered in a deep cove, and the only one of its kind encountered on the planet. The tree is surrounded by rays grazing on its pink outer leaves. A hardy, fast-growing bark covers the outside of the tree. Minuscule organisms inhabit the notches in the surface. The tree's branches are wrapped around a number of maturing eggs, belonging to the species designated Ghost Leviathan, not yours, but the big blue boy. This tree appears to be an ancient nesting ground. The eggs were laid when the tree was young, and now the branches protect and grow with them as they await the right conditions to hatch. This world, so full of predators and prey, it plays the long game. Everything happens on such a huge timescale to the point where how can we even call some of these things ancient? But I intend to go as deep as I possibly can right now. This is probably a bad idea. We cannot go to the bottom of this chamber. That's how much we're pushing it, even with all these upgrades. And yet, this shelf invites us to push even further. That's gotta be 1,200 meters, it's gotta be. So this is where it all happens. Okay, the next facility, we know of facilities at 1,200 and 1,400 meters. They've gotta be down there. Or else there could be something where we saw the lava vents or the magma vents before, but either way, this is it. This is where we've got to bring the prawn. And in order to do that, we're going to need to build not only the suit itself, but a whole ton of upgrades. Look at this. I mean, this has all been a cave exploration, and yet we've traveled far enough to reduce the Seamoth power by 38%. And we've just received another transmission. Who's still messaging us this late? I have no idea.
Terrain scans indicate this biome contains unusually high concentrations of organic and fossilized remains.
This can't be a rib cage. But it is, because that is definitively a skull. This thing... How could this even... You know, we think we found these, like, crazy ancient predators. And just every time I move 2 feet in this place, I discover something 1,000,000 years older and 1,000,000 times bigger. If this were my job, I would not be able to leave this place just ever. I would be taking all the samples I could carry. I would carry this thing out of here on my back. And we absolutely... You're right here! I had grown to see you as such a threat, and you're not even the biggest thing that's ever inhabited this place. Maybe you're what you needed the protection of the tree from. Now I need to find somewhere safe so I can read about this thing. The fossilized remains of an extinct super predator. Its sheer size would have prohibited it from entering such an enclosed space, suggesting the geography of the planet has shifted around it over time. A true apex predator. Dated at approximately 3 million years old. Ribcage measurements suggest the creature was eel-like in structure. Calculations suggest this is only the front third of the specimen. The remains now support a vibrant microcosm of life. Note, there are a series of precise, angular indentations on the ribcage, suggesting a third party has taken samples from the specimen at a previous time. This game is something else. Not only having... Look at that. Not only allowing us to explore this world as we find it, but the many millions of years of overlapping history, all the things that have come and gone in this time, showing what a complex world this is. So many games have ancient precursor aliens, like, inhabiting the space you're going through. Even Halo did it. But so few have made them seem like even just one small sliver, one tiny piece, as insignificant almost as our own, of the total history of what we're going through. There's just such a love and care for discovery. It's not even about their story or ours, it's about this place. And, of course, our part in it. But we do seem to be quite rapidly gaining altitude. Altitude may be the wrong word, and... Yep, it seems that we've actually gone clear across the entire map. There may be relatively few entrances, but this has been right under our noses for the entire time. Look at that. It may not seem like much from all the way down here, but that is daylight. I know I should be making a beeline straight for the base, but I can't wait. We have to surface. Oh, we would be having such a bad case of the bends, but who cares? Who cares? Get up there. You know what? Let's even do negative. Negative depth. Let's breach. Like a dolphin. Let's go. What are you doing up here, Percy?
Aboard, Captain.
Get down here and come see your sister. I'm so happy to see this place again, and honestly, for all the insane revelations we just uncovered, it is just the beginning. It goes way, way deeper, and we're gonna need so much more to actually get there. So next priority is gonna be to find one last hull fragment and build the prawn suit, and that has to happen in the next episode. But until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.